And welcome everyone to the Rebelle Rally Live presented by Toyota. We're here at Base Camp 2, but it is the day of Stage 5. I'm here with my good friend Matthew Johnson. Matthew,
Good morning.
I got to ask you, how'd you sleep?
Fantastic.
Oh,
yeah.
Isn't it great when you get a good night's sleep out in the desert?
Oh, it's so good. And we've been really lucky. Aside from that first windy night, it's been just like cool and really pleasant out here,
yeah, the weather has been awesome. I haven't been too hot and I haven't been too cold, so I am loving this.
Yeah, we're going to get burned up a little bit today as we go visit some dry lake beds.
Yep, that is
Hopefully we're going to get some cool footage out there.
Today is a day where competitors are going to have to pack up from Base Camp 2, and we are going to motivate down the road to Base Camp 3, which is actually going to be at Roy's in Amboy. If you know anything about that place, I believe that was the inspiration for the Pixar's Cars movie, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah, for sure. It's just really cool. It's one of these like Art Deco kind of signs and stuff.
Yeah.
When you see it tonight, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. It's been in a lot of movies. And
right on Route 66, so that's pretty cool that we're going to get to experience some of that historic Route 66. However, I do know that a lot of that road is currently washed out. So it might be a little bit of a navigational challenge for some of these teams to make sure that they can get around some of those washouts and still make it to Roy's on time. They have a 10.5-hour day today.
Still a big day, a lot of ground to cover. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how the maps are different and the navigation is different today? It's like Emily's really excited about throwing everybody for a loop this morning.
Yeah. We'll definitely have Emily on a little bit later to talk about it in detail. But I will tell you that today they've got a big 200,000 map.
Roads aren't even on there.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so like much less dirt roads and a dirt road campus and you're plotting or
exactly. You're going to have to be following your road book exactly because it'll be tough to find where. Now, what is interesting today is that there are no checkpoints and there are black diamond checkpoints, and that's it, which is nutso. Will get a 50,000 map for that section, but it is a smaller 50,000 map, and we'll talk about this more with Emily, but I got to tell you, there's
one of the things she was looking forward to today for like experienced competitors who think they know what to expect.
Exactly, but you know, I talked to Nina Barlow this morning, and she said that she is super to get complacent, then Emily comes in with this and it pushes them out of their comfort zone just a little bit. Looking forward to it. I also talked to Lynn and Sedona, who are currently running second place in the X-Cross class in their Nissan Pathfinder Rock Creek Edition, and they're pretty excited about it too. If it were easy, everyone would do it.
There we go.
And the way that all these competitors are getting their checkpoints back their trackers.
That's how we keep up with them. For those of you who don't know, they use a yellow brick to signal it all the check their vehicle. So we know where they are, how fast they're moving, all their details when we need to do a little bit of a sneak peek and keep up with everyone on the course.
And we call them yellow brick trackers not only because that's the company's name, but they literally look like yellow bricks.
So we're absolutely going behind the scenes today, literally behind the curtain, to find Rachel from YB Tracking. Hi ladies.
They said they would.
How you doing?
Nice.
This is Rachel from YB Tracking.
Hi.
Can you talk us through a little bit? First of all, this is a tracker, right?
Yes, this is what is on their vehicles that tracks them so we can see where they are at every time they're going around the route.
So there's one on each vehicle so that the competitors can click on it when they find a checkpoint, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, perfect. Now, while they're out in the field, what exactly are you doing? You're kind of like the cat herder, right? You make sure no one's getting lost?
Yeah, so I keep an eye on the main view that everyone else can see on here. And I also have a look on this page. So this is every single transmission that we receive from the tracking tracker. So if anything is slightly delayed, I just keep an eye on it for a little while. But if it's usually if they're out of signals slightly.
And go back to the other one. So the main one that you're there, and so this is all the cars out and the staff, everyone that has a tracker.
Yeah, this is just the public ones. This is just all the participants. We do have one for the staff as well.
Okay, perfect. And then if I'm at home, can you show us the app that you're also able to track? We can download this at home and follow our loved ones, right?
Yeah, so it's the YB Races app, and it basically replicates what's on the screen here, and you can see from the start this morning, everyone's sort of moving along.
Off they go. How cool is that? So if you're at home, make sure you download the YB tracking app and you can follow along. We'll see you out on the course today. Awesome.
Welcome back. It's really cool to see the back end of this digital rally while the competitors are so analog. So let's see what Harry's got going on the starting line for some of the cool cars that we got going out today.
We're here with last year's Rookies of the Year, the Wayfinders, Samantha Barber and Becky Brophy. So, Samantha, another new challenge for you today. Emily's really mixing it up. What's your plan for having the limited information you have today?
Follow the road book. That's what we've got. We'll do our on-time enduro first, and then we'll move into the checkpoints. We do plan on going for the stuff in the checkpoint zone, but other than that, following Jimmy's warnings of stay on the route and get to base camp.
And I don't know if you have a highlighter sponsorship, but I think there's an opportunity in the future based on this book.
Becky is a very good highlighter. She does all the road book work in the morning while I'm plotting points, and she makes sure I know what to look for and what to tell her about.
And so can you tell us a little bit about your color scheme here? So you have 4 colors, and are they used for specific things?
Yep, the blue is our route, so we can make sure we follow our route. The yellow is speed, so whenever I need to tell her to change speed. The orange is warnings. And then the pink is a short section is coming next. So I know when I see that pink, I already need to be looking for what's next.
And so have you worked with, I mean, we do enduros, but do you do this for those books as well?
Yes. Yep. We do this for all of our timed enduros. We do this.
Okay. Yep. So in that regard, it's old hat. It's just longer.
It is longer. Yep. It is longer. Today is going to be a big day with all of these pages and waypoints.
All right. Well, we're sure you're going to continue to crush it out there. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Behind the Wayfinders, we've got the Luna Chicks, one of our many sister teams, April and Chelsea, getting ready. They look like they're getting all set up, so we won't interrupt them. We'll go back to Matthew and Emme for now.
Thank you so much, Harry. I am here with the chairman of the board, Emily Miller, head of the Rebelle Rally, and she's going to talk us through a little bit about Stage 5 because today is different. Now, we alluded to it a little bit before, but I wanted to talk to you now. You've got them on a big 200,000 scale map, but that is going to be totally useless as they use their roadbook to transit over to Amboy.
Correct. We really wanted to shake things up, and we really wanted to make a great challenge using a roadbook. And so what we did is we created a day where we go from here to Amboy, California, to the famous Roy's on Route 66. And we started out with an on-time enduro. And the on-time enduro is
So here we are with our Mapbox animation. So we are starting off with the on-time enduro in Jawbone Canyon.
Yeah, it goes down to Jawbone Canyon. But where you saw that green checkpoint, first of all, really fun driving. On the LA Aqueduct roads. Medium fast, technical, fun. They get down to that green CP. They have a CP zone. Right there, you're going to see them go out to Cuddyback Dry Lake Bed. They're going to pass what's called Husky Monument. They're not going to see it, but they're going to pass it. Right there where you saw the hard right turn, there's actually an option to do an X route. You're watching the regular route. So right at that CP, right in that area, they have another CP zone before they hit that final green CP, cross Coyote Dry Lake, head to what's called Harvard Way, refuel, and then start the transit to Amboy. What's interesting, and you can see it right there, they're on Route 66. They're going to hop on to Interstate 40. Now, interestingly, we were going to put them back on Route 66 because we wanted them to feel that history, but it's been washed out. Over the years, the bridges have really not been maintained on Route 66.
Yeah.
So with all the latest storms this year, that's been a real issue. Going back to the challenge, after that on-time enduro, they have the option to stop and do an optional CP zone in Jawbone Canyon. Beautiful place, incredible colors. It's an open OHV area, and they can get 4 black diamond checkpoints.
Okay.
Today, there are no blue checkpoints.
You're so mean.
I know. And then they're going to get out onto Cuddyback Dry Lake Bed. When they get to that green CP, they have to cross that dry lake bed using just cap headings.
Okay.
So it's traditional cross-country rally navigation like you would see in like a Dakar, etc.
Yeah.
We don't have
Yeah.
speed, but it's reading a road book that way. At the third green CP, that next CP zone, they don't get the map till they get there.
Right.
They are 50,000 scale maps, and then they have the choice to take the time, plot the route, and what's great is they're really cool roads. They're up in an old mining area, really tight, twisty. The X route is technical. Really gives them an opportunity to separate the points.
Right. Now, I will tell you, I looked at some of those 50,000 maps. Now, our normal maps are really big, right? They're, 2 feet by 3 feet or something? I mean, you could practically use them as a blanket. The 50,000 scale maps that you're giving them are 11 by 17, and they are nowhere near as detailed. You would think a 50,000 map, you're going to get a lot of detail. Emily, it looks like it's in black and white, and the toner is gone out of your printer.
Correct.
It's like they're like shadows.
That's on purpose.
Yeah, I know it's on purpose.
And the reason why we did this last year
I
to
remember.
everyone, because what's happened is the competitors have gotten so used to just reading those maps. Our maps are so good. Thank you, Phil. Shout out to Phil Membry, who works with us all year on mapping. The problem is, though, is that a map is just a tool. Heading and distance don't lie. So great navigators know not to rely on the map. What if you're in a whiteout? What if you don't have a map? What do you do to navigate?
Right.
You use heading and distance. And so we really want them to not be just over reading the map, but using those classic navigation skills. So it's a great challenge today. What was interesting, Jimmy and I stood back in the main tent this morning and watched, though, how many people sat and tried to plot on a 200,000 map, and it's not going to help them.
Right.
So they become so reliant, and it's almost like just a habit. So someday I'll probably just take away the map. I'll give them heading and distance and let them draw their own.
I will have you killed when you do that.
I think
all
everyone
right.
else will too.
Well, thanks, Emily, for your time. I know you want to get on the starting line, say goodbye to some of the competitors, and just all around deal with some of the chaos that we have here at Base Camp 2. Thank you so much. Let's see if maybe Harry has got something out there. Or are we... Yeah, let's see what Harry's got.
Yeah, I mean, we got you. We're here with Team Chaos. Good morning. So, Renee, Emily just hyped you. She said she had to give you a crappy map because you do such a great job out there that she's got to do something to make it a challenge.
Do you mean the 200 or do you mean the one with zero detail?
Because she gave you 2 crappy maps.
Right, okay. We got a load of crap this morning, is what you're saying? But no, we can make do. We have heading and distance.
You already got an A in Emily's book right there. So I'm not sure if there's bonus points that are awarded, but
I
if
don't
there
think
are.
so. Not in this rally, no.
So what's your plan given the information that you were provided?
Follow the road book, take headings and distances, and take into account our time, because this section is optional. So there is a chance that it might be a time suck, in which point we would then abort this mission and get back to the second road book.
And I think you're really showing your experience there because time management is so critical at this event, right? How do you handle that?
With a lot of stress and anxiety, but we have our open and close times, so you write those down and you basically calculate from the beginning of the day where you need to be by midday to allow yourself an ample amount of time to hunt for the remaining CPs, and taking into account we're exhausted at that time of day. So having 5 minutes to look for a black isn't necessarily ideal. You want a little bit more. And then, of course, make it to your last green and to base camp on time, which is crucial.
Thanks for breaking down all your strategy. We really appreciate it. And I think everyone who's considering doing this event at home should really take all that advice to mind.
And they should do it. All the women out there that think, oh, I really wish I want to do that, or I've always thought I'd do it, just do it. We all started somewhere. We all did get over hurdles to get to this start line, but it's doable and worth it.
Absolutely. Thanks. Have a great time out there today. Moving back on the line, we've got Team 167, Plotting Evil, coming up here. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Jessica, what advice would you have for someone who's considering doing this event?
Start taking training early. Like the people that went from, I'm going to talk about Sam and Becky. They go to training like 4 or 5 times a year, and that's why they do so well. You can't just come here unprepared, and that's how you do well and not get lost, because that's scary.
Can you tell us a little bit about your road book today and what sort of notes you've taken?
Well, I did a lot of math for the first bit, because the first bits are on time. So we're timed for each section, and then the rest is on route. So I highlight where we click in, when to stop, when to go to our map and compass based, and when to go back and re-zero. And, we also highlighted the route on the map, because if we get lost, we can click in, at least know where we are, and plot and find our way back to the highlighted route. So.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Would you say this is your busiest time of day in the morning?
Not today. I only plotted like 4 plots today. I got up like super early because I was like, we're gonna have 34 plots again, and I had 5 things to do. So I relaxed. I drank my tea, did some math.
All right.
But normally, yes, mornings are very, very busy.
We'll let you move up to the starting line. Have fun out there today. Another team coming up here that did quite well yesterday, fighting for a spot on the podium, Penny and Shelby. So, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. I get to talk to all of you. Can you tell us a little bit about your road book and the notes you've taken?
Yeah, we have a really interesting day today. Basically, the entire day is going to be by road book with some checkpoints along the way with a CP guide, kind of optional. So what we've done is Shelby has done all this math for us, and basically is what we do is we take the speed and the distance and we figure out what our average time should be at each one of these waypoints where you see this tick. So at each of these ticks, if we're doing an average speed of 20 kilometers an hour or 25 kilometers an hour later, then these are the exact times that we should be at those waypoints. And we will be measured by 3 seconds today. So in the beginning of the rally, we started at 6 seconds of, I call it grace, where you can get full points. Today it's within 3 seconds of grace. So we really want to be perfectly on our average speed. And we've got a lot of like interesting situations going on where we're crossing under pipes, through washes, and making some really interesting turns, where keeping that average speed through certain actions is going to be really interesting for us. So
Would you say hairy situations?
I would certainly say it's going to be a hairy situation.
All right, nice branding there. Thanks, Penny. Have fun today. Next up, we've got yesterday's winners. First time an EV has won, a full EV has won a stage here. These women currently leading the rookies. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, look, I've already talked to Lily.
We don't want to know our score.
Yeah, we don't know our score or our ranking. So before you say
don't ask any questions about that.
Yeah.
I will not ask you about your score and ranking. Can I ask you about that philosophy? When did you implement it, or was that always your plan to not look till the end?
After day two, we did pretty good on day one, and I think it just kind of got in our heads a little bit. And then day two, we took unnecessary risks and actually almost timed out at a checkpoint. And it pretty much, we had no charge left because we were hustling. So after day two, we don't want to look at our rank.
So, I already know Lily. I already know all about Lily. But tell me a little about yourself. How did you meet, or how did you prepare? I mean, you're crushing it out there. I'm not going to tell you how you're doing, but you're doing well, if you don't mind me saying. So what's your secret?
I mean, I think we make a really good team. We've worked really hard this last year training. I mean, we're both rookies. We're new to this. She's less new than me.
Yeah, there's an asterisk next to Lily's
She's
name
rookie
as a
asterisk.
First off, I am a rookie at the Rebelle.
She is. But we've worked really hard on teamwork and communication, and I think we just work really well together.
And so what was this was all brand new to you other than the training you've done?
Yeah, pretty much. We started in February or March with Nina's off-road training, and that was the first time I picked up a map and compass. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, if that's not an inspiration for everyone at home, I don't know what is.
She's
Keep it up.
Married 2 weeks after, by the way, in Ocotillo.
I am.
In this truck.
It's been a little busy of a year.
Well, now thanks, Lily. Everyone watching the live show will be there. Have fun today. We'll go back to Matthew and Emme for more of their sage advice.
Thanks, Harry. You know, I do have to put a correction there in what Harry said.
No, I knew you might.
Of course I would. Yes, you know, those two ladies won a stage in the R1T, but Rebecca Donaghy and I won a stage in our R1T last year. So I just got to say, we were the first. We were the first to do that.
But like them also, remind me, like, what's your mentality? Like, you don't like to know how you're doing. And you kind of hated the media running up and be like, oh, what do you think about winning yesterday?
Yeah, and you're like, oh,
are you going to be able to make up the difference? And then Becca looks at me with, like, laser eyes, like, I'm going to burn you in half if you keep talking to Emme about how she's doing.
Rebecca was always fine knowing where we were in the standings. I didn't like to know because for me, mentally, I would then be like, oh, now I got to be really, really good to keep it. Or like, oh, we're so far behind. And like, now we got to like, just make sure that we're going and getting it. Just not knowing kept me running my own rally.
Yeah, it's really important.
Yeah, and that was important for me because otherwise you start taking maybe some unnecessary risks that you wouldn't be taking if you were just like, yeah, I'm just out here running my rally, you know, and I didn't, as someone who sometimes makes, you know, a few poor decisions when it comes to speed, it's nice to have a little bit of an out for that. So looks like we had some social comments.
Yeah, I saw a few zoom by there. Yeah, you know, like you're saying, the mental brain power spent about like, okay, I'm ahead, so what does that mean? Yeah. Do I need to change my behavior because of how I'm doing?
Yeah.
And it's all a distraction.
Yeah, and it's like, no, don't change your behavior. Just do your rally. And if it's good enough, that's great. And if it's not, well, then
you find out later.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't need to know now.
We can see the Kia Sportage X Pro there on the screen.
It's the Sportage.
Okay, fine. The Sportage.
The Kia Sportage.
Yeah, as we mentioned, the first one of those was in the Dakar.
Exactly.
20 years ago
way back in the day. Yeah. So we were talking, some of the teams were talking earlier about heading in distance, and that's going to be such a big deal today, heading in distance as not so much on the maps. And I shot a quick video on the first day about some of the tools, so we'll explain about how they get that heading in distance in this little clip.
So in addition to having a great vehicle, if you want to be a Rebelle, there are some key tools that you need. Now, first of all, when you get here, you are going to get a map. You are also going to get a CP guide. Those are given to you by the rally, so you don't need to worry about that at all. But what you do need to worry about are what we call our little scales, our little magic rulers. So these are good for a 50,000 map, a 100,000 map, and a 200,000 map, because maps all have different scales, so you need to make sure you're using the right one. Otherwise, you will be in a world of hurt. Ask me how I know. You're also going to need a mechanical pencil. You should bring a lot of these because you will lose them 100% guaranteed. This is called a plotter. This helps us decide what direction we're going in. So you can use this on the map and decide, okay, I'm going to go into direction of 210 degrees. This will help you make that straight line. And then finally, of course, you will need a compass. There are all different kinds of compasses, but this one is a really nice one from Suunto. My navigator likes to use a little sighting compass, so it's all about personal preference.
So, Matthew, have you ever used a plotter? Do you know how to use them?
I've touched one. I touched it. I moved it out of my way when it was in my pile of stuff. It's Chrissy's, though.
Yeah, it's kind of fun because you have this little dial and you like say, okay, where do I want to go? And you put it on the map and you draw a straight line and then you look at it and you go, oh, I'm supposed to drive over that?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Okay.
I bet.
Actually, to be completely honest, I have tried to jump in on some of the navigation classes. I listen to the chat about it, but when it comes to the actual putting the plotter on the map and spending those times and like plotting, I've plotted a point or two in the past, but I always end up chasing around in the background, like helping Larry out. Emily's husband Larry's always running around getting lunches and doing all the background stuff it takes for people to stay focused. And I find myself in that environment, like it's not that important for me to do the class, so I just end up helping out. And so I really do want to get focused and be a student one day for the plotting.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I am interested in it. I would like to also know how to get somewhere when we lose GPS.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Some magnetic event just takes out our satellites.
Your wife did say that yesterday we had two drivers in the car, you and I, and neither one of them could navigate. She was a little worried about us.
She didn't use quite that polite a language,
no,
did she?
No, she did not.
It was funnier. But she was talking about Emme and I going out to try to get some footage yesterday, and she was genuinely a little bit concerned that we were not going to figure out where we were going.
Listen, I can always get us back to town.
That's great.
Get us back to town.
That's great. I can always get us somewhere fairly quickly.
Somewhere. Don't know if that's
if you go enough places fairly quickly, eventually you figure out where you are.
All right, well, let's see what Harry's got for us out here on the starting line.
Go ahead. All right. Yeah, we're here with one of our rookie teams, Erica and Alexandra. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I know you have a busy morning. Do you have a second to talk to us?
Sure. Until they tell us to go.
So I will let you know that the start line is actually up there, so we have a little time. There's still 5 cars that need to go off the line in 2-minute intervals. So hopefully you're not too rushed. I'm curious what advice you would give yourself from a week ago, knowing what you know.
I think paying attention to all of the details. There's a lot of details and there's a lot of logistics and a lot of just minute things that make big differences for points and how your day flows. So we've been trying to pay attention, but as we go along. But I think looking back, looking ahead, just really paying attention to every little detail would be helpful.
Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, people think, oh, you have the vehicle, you're a good driver, you have the map, but time management, the thing, Emily gives you little hints, right? And you can't tell you're drinking from a fire hose as a rookie.
Right, and it's this is our rookie year, and there's so much, and like you said, there's driving, there's the navigating, but those are kind of gross, large things, and then there's how you set up your vehicle, how you set up your camp, all of that. It's a really interesting game that they have set up because it's very difficult, and it all comes together to affect your points in the end.
And that's the case for the media too. I feel like my vehicle, I have all the charging and everything set up about the time the rally is over. So have you changed things in here since we began?
We have kind of obviously the nav on this side, the driving on this side. We have these great visor organizers and then everything in the back. But so we've tweaked things as we've gone along and then we've been also the way we set up how we run our day, we try to capitalize on our strengths. And so we've also learned as we've gone that I'm strong in one thing, Alex is strong in something else, and then we try to set up so that the driving and the navigating are, like I said, capitalizing on our strengths.
Yeah, that's teamwork. That's the key out here, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. We've been a great team. This is our first year working together, and it's been really fun. Yeah. So having a great time.
Excellent. We're glad to hear it. We hope you have more fun today. Enjoy yourselves out there.
Thank you very much.
As these vehicles move up to the start line, we'll get some more vehicles, but for now, we're going to go back to Emme and Matthew.
Thank you, Harry. We're talking about some of the organization in the vehicle, and I will tell you the very first navigational rally I did,
sure,
we were not ready at all. I had a different navigator than Rebecca, but we had pencils were everywhere and rulers were everywhere, and now, we have over-spec'd Velcro on everything. We got every pencil's got a piece of Velcro. My chapstick, piece of Velcro. Rulers, piece of Velcro, and you just have stuff. basically taped all over the inside of your vehicle.
I remember looking inside the rolls a couple of years ago, and you had random things stuck all over the nice interior.
I know.
But it did look like a professional office. Like you could be in there and get something done.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We would have our tracker put up on our windshield with some overspec Velcro so that we always knew where it was, so that if you looked up in the corner of the windshield and it wasn't there, you're like, oh crap, what have we done with our tracker? Because that is an important thing. And we've had some teams accidentally leave their tracker outside their vehicle, and then they drive off, and then, oh no, they don't have a tracker.
Yeah, so the way it goes is you get out with your tracker, and correct me if I'm wrong, you get out with your tracker, you signal, then you start talking about the next checkpoints, and you just lay it down on the hood.
Or something.
Or somewhere beside you where it's convenient because you need your hands to point or whatever. And before you know, you've driven off and driven over the tracker.
Yes, that has happened. People have driven over their trackers.
Or had to backtrack to go find it where you think it fell off the car and maybe almost run out of fuel.
Yeah, that happened to the R1S team. They had left their tracker at their previous checkpoint, and it was like 30 kilometers, and they're like, we don't have the range to do it, so they had to come. It was quicker for them to come back to base camp and get a new tracker, and fewer kilometers to do that rather than to go all the way back and get their original one. Now, they did go out and recover it because, we don't like to leave things out in the desert.
Sure.
Because we like to keep our public lands clean and tread lightly. But that was probably very, very stressful.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, and there was one time when Rebecca and I stopped at a green checkpoint, and we usually have a routine, right? I would get out, I would signal the tracker, she would look at the map, figure out where we're going to go, I would come back in, put the tracker back, she would say, okay, we're going to do this, this, this. I'd say, yeah, that looks good, and then we'd take off. I don't know what happened on that checkpoint, but I never got out of the truck to signal the tracker.
Okay. So the whole order of events
was
off.
Just gone. And so she's looking at the map and she says, okay, we're going to go up here and here. And I said, that sounds great. And we took off, and I went, oh my God, I never clicked the tracker. So then we had to backtrack on this little 2-lane road, 3 miles or 3 kilometers, I think, to get back and get to the checkpoint. And we had to get it before it closed because we had pushed that time. So it was a very, very stressful 3 kilometers. We're like, how come we didn't check it? I don't know what happened, and you're just like, what, why, just like random brain farts. It was, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's some of the things that can happen out here.
Now, tell me, when you click your tracker after a checkpoint has closed, do you get a wide miss penalty?
I believe so, but I'm not 100% sure because it's that tracker then thinks that you're trying to signal for the next checkpoint. So.
Well, I'm told there may be some more hairy situations there on the start line.
Let's see.
Harry, let's see ya.
We're here with Team 210, another group of rookies, and are you the only diesel vehicle in the event this year?
No, definitely not the only diesel, but the only BMW and the first BMW to ever compete in the Rebelle Rally.
Fun fact, maybe you already knew this, Emily used to use an X5 to set the course.
Yeah, that's part of so my partner and I run an all BMW shop. It's Cooper Auto Works. And so when I said I wanted to do the Rebelle, of course I wanted to do it in an X5. And a lot of people told me that was a really terrible idea. Why would you take a BMW off-road? And then I saw the video of Emily, and it was kind of being like, there's proof right there. Like Emily Miller herself. And she said when I signed up, she was really excited to see one here.
And how has the vehicle been doing this week?
Really pretty good. We do, BMWs have kind of more of a sport suspension, so it's a little bit of a firmer ride, I think, than some of the other teams. But the diesel makes a lot of torque, so it's really fun. And like the deep sand, it just chugs right on through it.
And we saw some crazy hill climbs yesterday out there. Did this thing just go up like a mountain goat?
Oh, yeah. Nice and slow. It just chugs right up, no problem.
I didn't do that, and I have low range. You've got your road book in front of you here. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're preparing for today?
Yeah, so I've actually done a lot of road book style rallies. And so we went ahead and did all of our enduro math here so we know exactly what times we need to be at every single checkpoint. And then basically these little notes are called tulips. So usually the bottom of the tulip, sometimes there's a dot down there, and then the arrow is like the flower. So that's why they're called a tulip. And you just want to make sure that you're following exactly what the tulip does. They may not make sense when you're looking at them just on paper, but once you see the road and everything around you, all your surroundings, everything will start to make sense. You'll see, oh yeah, there is a bush there and a fence and all that.
Kelsey, you're going to take my job. Wonderful. You sound super prepared for today. Have a blast out there.
Thank you.
More rookies coming up. behind them, but in the 4x4 class. We should mention that these road books are made by Rally Navigator. So one of our staff members, Mike Shirley, makes that software, and it's great for doing not just creating road books, but using road books. And you can go and use that software too to train if you want to do the Rebelle Rally. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Both excited and nervous.
And trying to be optimistic.
That's important, right? It's a new day, and it's beautiful out. Did you see the sunrise?
Oh, it was gorgeous. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
And can you tell us a little about your camp accommodations? Like, would you do anything differently knowing what you know now than what you brought? Is there anything you wish you brought?
Maybe bought a little lesser than what we packed. And maybe just from my end, I think the tent, I think we could have bought a 2-second tent. It takes a little bit of time to, get the pop-up tents rather than the ones with the frames and stuff like that. It's taking up a little more time. But other than that, I think everything else is good from our side.
Yeah. You probably brought too many snacks, if that's possible.
I mean, I think it's hard, right? When you're coming to an event, you might need something, so you pack it because you don't necessarily know. Are there things you would leave behind that you brought?
A lot of the snacks that we bought.
And a lot of the clothes. And both of us were complete rookies. Even camping-wise, off-roading-wise, we're complete rookies. So I think we just probably over-prepared for everything.
Yeah.
But
If it makes you feel any better, this is my 6th year on this event. Yeah. I also brought way more warm clothes than we needed this year. It's been warm. I am out of shorts. I've been wearing these now for at least a couple days, and we're not even too glamorous yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's the norm, is just okay, this shirt I've worn for a couple days, but it's all right. Just live with it. Get all the dirt in. It'll be good.
Well, and if you only pack T-shirts and shorts next year, then it'll be 17 degrees in Tonopah.
Absolutely. Yeah. The one long sleeve shirt you had, you'll end up wearing every single day.
Right. Well, I love your optimism. Have fun out there today, and we'll see you at the next base camp.
All right, thank you.
Matthew and Emme, I'm sure you've got more to say about Rally Navigator and these road books, and I'd love to hear it.
Wow, thanks, Harry.
Yeah.
He's on it this morning.
Harry is killing it. These interviews are really awesome.
Yeah. I want to touch on a couple quick things. The diesel BMW.
Yes.
I think that probably is quite a rough ride.
I'm sure
comparatively, right? But the diesel torque is really going to pay off pretty sweet in the dunes.
Right.
And you either need good suspension and big tires in the dunes.
Yeah.
Or a good bit of power.
Right.
And they kind of can substitute for each other.
But what's nice about that BMW is that you do have different drive modes, right? So if you put that in Sport Plus, that is going to crazy firm up that suspension. But I'm sure they're riding it in comfort mode. It doesn't have air suspension, so nothing's going up or down or anything. But at least that will soften up the shocks a little bit. I mean, they'll still be stiff because in the end it's still a BMW.
Yeah.
But at least they have a little bit of variations that they can do. And then, plus they've swapped out the wheels and tires. So that, that is the first modification you should always make on your vehicle, wheels and tires, because it's the only thing that touches the ground, So, like Emily says, the vehicle in your driveway is more capable than you think, especially when you throw on a set of Pirelli Scorpions and, just pick your line good.
Pick your line good. Be smart. And then what else did we also learn? If we're hungry later, look for a green Magna-sponsored.
Yes, because they have all of the snacks.
They've got all the snacks.
I can't believe they said that they would want to bring less
literally,
snacks.
If we did this over, we would leave more snacks at home.
No, all of the snacks.
That's great.
Yeah, when we were competing, we would always want to make sure that, I can go a day or so without eating, but Rebecca is the type of person, she needs to eat.
You got to feed your brain.
She has to feed her brain, but she also gets very into what she's doing, and so sometimes she would kind of forget to eat, and it would just be I'd just unwrap a bar or something and be like, snack attack, and shove it in her mouth, you're eating right now.
You guys had to be the funniest to hear the in-car from.
Well, and we also had a rule, too. Every time we would get out of the car, as soon as you get back in, you buckle up, you take a drink of water.
Sure.
Because that will, as long as you have that muscle memory of buckling up, take a drink of water, and then you go, you can be sure to stay hydrated. Because especially now that we're further south on the course, it's going to be hot. I haven't checked the weather in Glamis, but it's going to be at least in the 90s when we get to Glamis.
All about efficient systems and taking care of each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of systems, so he mentioned briefly Mike Shirley's business, Rally Navigator.
Yeah.
Software to allow a course maker to make a course.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. I've obviously seen Chrissy mucking around on the site, and she does a lot of stuff with it, with their software. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, we used one of the Rally Navigator apps, like a kind of a secondary app, to get that timer that we did our little enduro on. Yeah, because I
our
didn't
master
have any...
class.
Yeah,
yeah, the Emme Matthew master class on time-based enduro.
Yeah, go back. I believe that was on stage 1. That was on one of our very first live shows where Matthew and I attempted to do a live enduro, timed enduro, 2 drivers trying to do an enduro, which was pretty funny. But yeah, so you can make your own road book. You can grab a timer. You can grab a kilometer distance odometer so that you know where you're going. And it's a good way to practice. It's a really good way to practice.
Well, we're going to have more from Rebelle Rally Live presented by Toyota right after this.
At Total Chaos, we believe in pushing everything to the limits and testing everything in our arsenal. We design our equipment to perform in brutal environments and some of the harshest off-road terrain. And because of that, we have been trusted to pre-run every mile of the Rebelle Rally for the last 6 years. Welcome to the chaos.
Get lost without getting lost. When your adventure takes you off the beaten path, Iridium is there. Whether you're camping in the woods, hiking a mountain, or sailing the ocean, Iridium's satellite communicators keep you connected regardless of weather conditions, terrain, or location. Built to be portable, rugged, and easy to use, Iridium and Iridium connected devices deliver peace of mind for you and your loved ones through real-time two-way voice calling, text messaging, photo sharing, social media, GPS, weather monitoring, and SOS, even in the most remote locations. Choose from a selection of products ranging from satellite phones to Bluetooth-enabled hotspots made by the brands you trust to call home, share the moment, or get help when needed. So, get out, take a hike, seize the day, but stay connected. Iridium, your world, our network.
Legendary moments with room for the whole team.
What time was our reservation?
It's at 7.
Great. Will there be valet?
Alas, the ship rides through the morning. You know it's calling, leave back home, put down the sorrow, and dance to me.
The Rebelle Rally is the longest competitive off-road navigation rally in the U.S. It is remote, unique, and extremely challenging. When we launched the Rebelle, we needed a robust, multifunction tracking system to serve as the backbone for course and safety operations. Unique to the Rebelle, it also has to interface directly with our real-time scoring system. The tracker must be reliable, durable, and never fail, combined with superior customer support. We chose Iridium-based YB tracking. It's the best product and the most experienced people. YB tracking has been a critical component of our safety and success since day one.
You know, Matthew, that first commercial that we had for Total Chaos.
Yes.
I know your rig is equipped with Total Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Such a great, smooth ride. I can really tell the difference between one of the stock vehicles and then your 4Runner. You just like float over stuff.
Yeah, yesterday I was like, what if I just don't slow down for these whoops? And it was kind of fine, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
It's like it'll lure you into a lot of confidence with that kind of equipment.
I keep trying to get Nicole to make me a set for Buddy, the off-road Miata, and she's like, we don't do Miatas, right? I'm like, yeah, but it'd be so great.
Yeah.
Come on, I'll be
your
your R&D car.
Got to get Mikey into it.
Oh, yeah.
Take Buddy to the shop and be like, I'm just going to leave this here.
Yeah, and then amazingly,
and the keys here.
I'll have a long
Mikey.
travel in 2 weeks. All right, Harry, what you got for us, baby?
Yeah, we're back on the start line with more rookies. And Julia, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited to get out of here, I think. It's been tough, but we definitely learned heading and distance don't lie. So, yeah.
And what would you tell yourself from a week ago knowing what you know now about the Rebelle Rally?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say it gets better. It was really tough. I competed in 2020 and just finishing was really hard. And now I feel like it's been night and day. This competition, we're really hitting our checkpoints, not getting lost, not getting as many wide misses. So it's really exciting to see your progress.
Yeah, that's great. Right at the end of the day, you need to look back at that and what successes you had. What outside of navigating do you think is important for people at home to know if they want to do this event to be successful?
I would say just a positive attitude. You really have to roll with the punches. Things are hard. Things aren't going to go according to plan, but you just got to keep going and put it all behind you. We use the analogy that this is summer camp, so there's no bad days no matter what happens.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. I like that. It does feel like summer camp. You get to see your friends that you haven't seen all year and come and camp. Any thoughts about today?
I'm just really excited to get to this ghost town and hopefully see some haunted stuff.
All right. Well, have fun out there. Good luck. Well, join us on the next edition of Ghost Hunters. Behind them, we've got Team 112, more rookies. I really like this FJ Cruiser. We have a couple of those out here this year. And I know I heard the two of you screaming as you were going up and down some of those crazy hill climbs yesterday. Can you tell us, how does it feel? Is it like a trust exercise? How does it feel to do that in the passenger seat?
It feels great to do it in the passenger seat because I have a rock star driver. So I just kind of want to put my hands up like the roller coaster. Like, let's do this. So it feels great on this side.
You never got scared out there yesterday?
No, not with her. She's awesome. Total trust.
And how do the two of you know each other?
This is my sister-in-law. We're married to brothers. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, you name it. We're ride or die together through all of it.
Yeah, so you can't, if you don't get along with your teammate, you can't say, oh, I'm going to ghost this person. I'm not going to see him again. You have holidays coming up.
I mean, we could ghost till like November.
That's next month.
Time flies. Time flies. No ghosting.
All right. And how did you hear about this event?
Her husband found it. Actually, it's Porsche family. We love Porsches, and we saw the Cayenne running. He saw an article on it from last year, and we started down the rabbit hole, and we're like, that looks like a lot of fun.
But then you brought a Toyota. So how was that decision made?
Well, I mean, look at this thing. This is a beast. You're not gonna cry if you scrape a little paint on this one, but we wanted to be able to get rugged.
Well, hopefully it looks the same today when we get to the next base camp as it looks right now, because it looks great.
Thank you.
Have fun out there.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Emme and Matthew, what are your final words? What do you got for us?
Well, that was really cool, Stacy and Sharon there. She was like, we're ride or die.
I know, that's so awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
great.
And it's cool to see, how people have found out about the Rebelle Rally.
Yeah.
Which means that we want you all out there, share our live feed, rebellerally.com/live. And then, of course, this is happening on Facebook and YouTube. And you know what? You guys can just, give us a little comment. We love to see all of your comments. Give us a little share so that we can get the word for the Rebelle Rally out and get even more teams. Although Emily's probably like, no, I need a bigger staff if I have more teams.
Also, our giveaway, the massive giveaway. If you haven't registered for that yet, swing by the site. Look at promos. I think you could see a lot of the different promotions going.
Yes. Go Team 170. You are the best. Yeah, buddy.
I know Team 170's having a lot of fun. We've chatted with them a few times.
Yeah.
They were over in Spangler Flats, Spangler Hills, where we were yesterday.
Yes, that we saw them.
Briefly.
It's so cool. So, it's what, like 7:30, and I feel like we still have half of the field here because teams are leaving every 2 minutes, which means that we might see some teams coming in the dark when we get to Roy's tonight.
Might do. Hopefully the lights are still on at that joint. I know there's a store there, but I don't know if the big sign's lit up or not.
No, I think the big sign is lit up. There's a store and there's a restaurant. I believe you can also get gas there. It's probably like $10 a gallon because there's nothing else around. But I'm actually, I kind of live near Roy's and I haven't been there yet. So I'm stoked to go in there and just kind of see what the food is like and see what the store is like and see what this whole haunted hotel thing is about.
All right.
All right. We got Bronco 131 passing the live show stage, giving them a thumbs up.
Catherine and Tony with some big energy there as they're getting lined up for their own route in Duro.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break here so I can maybe refill my Diet Dr. Pepper, and we'll be right back after this message.
I really created the Rebelle to have a proving ground for people, products, and vehicles. It doesn't matter how your vehicle's powered, whether you have a traditional petrol vehicle or you have an electrified vehicle.
This year we have the standard 135 kilowatt hour battery pack. That has an EPA rating of 314 miles, but that's in ideal conditions.
We are real world testing these vehicles in the way that people want to use them. They want to go out and adventure. They want to go camping in the car that they often are doing the daily commute in.
So we are a little bit lower than some of the other vehicles. Some of the 4x4s, of course, have lift kits and things like that on them. So I think for us, in addition to range, vehicle clearance is very important.
Last year we had 2 electrified vehicles, one EV in the 4x4 and one PHEV in the X-Cross class. And this year we have 7. It's an exciting program for us, and we're learning a lot. And the companies that are involved are learning a lot.
I love how with the Rebelle they've also taken the renewable innovations who gives us the power to change how the base camps work as well and make those greener.
It was also important to us that we worked on having a program that powers these cars with renewable power. We can't have those cars not able to be powered in the desert. So that's what's been really exciting about working with the renewable innovations. They had large-scale solutions and experience and problem-solving skills, and you needed that.
This year we brought back the same vehicle because last year was in our minds like a science experiment, a little bit of a beta test. So we decided we wanted to come back and give it a go and go for a win in an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
That would be really awesome.
Get lost without getting lost. When your adventure takes you off the beaten path, Iridium is there. Whether you're camping in the woods, hiking a mountain, or sailing the ocean, Iridium satellite communicators keep you connected regardless of weather conditions, terrain, or location. Built to be portable, rugged, and easy to use, Iridium and Iridium connected devices deliver peace of mind for you and your loved ones through real-time two-way voice calling, text messaging, photo sharing, social media, GPS, weather monitoring, and SOS, even in the most remote locations. Choose from a selection of products ranging from satellite phones to Bluetooth-enabled hotspots made by the brands you trust to call home, share the moment, or get help when needed. So, get out, take a hike, seize the day, but stay connected. Iridium, your world, our network.
Welcome back to Rebelle Rally Live, presented by Toyota. And Emily was talking in that commercial break about how this is really a proving ground for manufacturers. And this year we have 8 manufacturers that have brought vehicles and teams here, which is really cool. I think that's the most that we've ever had. And so, we love seeing these stock vehicles coming out here and just proving that, you don't need fancy equipment to come out here. All you need is a good set of tires, good map, and a good compass.
Yep, you got it. We've got 15 actual manufacturer teams entered.
Right, with 8 Yes, 8 manufacturers, 15 teams total.
All
but
right,
I know that Harry's got a pretty good update for us, I believe, from the starting line. So, Harry, what you got?
Yeah, always have good updates from the start line. So we're here with Raquel and Caitlin, our Navajo team. And your team, I'm gonna butcher the name, so I'm gonna let you tell us how to pronounce it and the meaning.
Our name is Hojon Vibrations. Hojon is a term that in Navajo it means being in balance and
in all aspects of life, you know. So we thought it'd be nice. It's also kind of funny because it's like, oh, maybe you want balanced vibrations. Shorten it to vibes, so Hojo vibes only.
Yeah.
Is that how your week's going?
We're trying.
We're trying. It's something you aspire to. It's not something that you always are at that level of being and a state of being. So it's it's more of an aspiration and something that you strive to be and strive to live your life.
So we are trying for that this week.
Yeah.
It's a practice, right?
It
Ebbs
is.
and flows.
Yep, yep.
Definitely.
And how are you feeling about today?
We're excited I'm excited to move to the next base camp.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to see what's in store for us down the road. I know you have to go and line up, so we won't keep you too long, but we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Now, a team that really needs some of that energy and the ebbs and flows are these ladies here in this FJ Cruiser. They've been battling fuel issues, but never giving up. Anna and Lisa. Lisa's husband, Nick, makes me give an update to him every night about how she's doing. I want to share with you, Rory Lewis's husband takes the week off of this event. I wouldn't be surprised if your husband did the same, because I know he has been following you very closely. Tell us the latest on your fuel issues.
It sounds like everything's back to normal. We didn't have any issues yesterday, so very hopeful that all the sand in that fuel filter that was put on there is out of our system now.
And how did that go? I heard that they had to get one from Vegas and a handoff was made Ocean's 11 style and they were up all night.
It was pretty accurate. Yeah, I didn't go to bed yesterday, so we were able to get 69% on our points with zero sleep. And then we slept like rocks last night. So
I bet.
So yeah, everything went well. We were able to get it fully complete by 4:30 yesterday morning.
I always find the night to not get any sleep is right before Emily Miller tells you, oh, you can use in any order for the first time. Surprise.
And by the way, here's Jimmy's Enduro.
How are you feeling about this Enduro today?
Good so far. Everything, at least this morning's, everything's really slow, and then we've got a really accurate tracker or odometer, so we should be able to make all of our turns.
How many Cafe Moto coffees did you have yesterday?
0.
Oh yeah, she doesn't drink coffee.
I buy it for my husband.
I was trying to get a sponsor plug in there. It kind of backfired. That's
order
right.
it
I drink it. I think it's great.
My family.
The coffee for both of us.
Very good. Well, we hope you're well caffeinated and you have a good time out there today. That's it from the start line. Back to Emme and Matthew.
Did you see all those patches that Anna's got on the inside of her?
I was going to say the same thing. That FJ is highly decorated inside. That thing's been on a bunch of adventures.
Been everywhere because you cannot put a patch or a sticker on your vehicle unless you've actually been there. At least that's how I roll.
Yeah.
And I know that's how Anna rolls because she is a tough lady who gets out there and really wheels that FJ. But I have to say I was surprised to see her in the navigator seat. I thought that she was driving.
Yeah, this whole event she's been doing a lot of navigating.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
I mean, I think it's cool. It just makes you better overall.
It absolutely does.
Yeah. So I know we're coming back tonight, right, from Roy's?
Yes, we are coming back from Roy's tonight at 6 p.m., which will be cool. I'm so stoked to hopefully our stage will have the Roy's sign in the background, and we'll have the Toyota Tundra out there so that everyone can see what I get to drive on this thing. But yeah, so we will have the finish line tonight at 6 o'clock. And then again, we will have our starting show tomorrow morning at 6:45 a.m. Oh my Lord, it's so early. We will not be doing an afternoon update for y'all because again, we have packed up our base camp here and we are headed out to Roy. So no afternoon show today.
We hope to get some pretty cool looking dry lake bed footage here to midday.
Absolutely.
A couple of team interviews and stuff to splice into the show tonight.
Yeah, maybe you and I can do some drifting on the lake bed.
I don't know. I slide lots of things, but my Forerunner's usually not one of them. We'll see what happens out there.
Okay, so look, we've got our yellow brick YB tracker up here. So, we know they started off right away with a timed enduro up there in Jawbone Canyon, that was where Katie shot her piece last night with the tortoise.
Yes, with the tortoise.
Yep, that was up there in Jawbone Canyon.
That tortoise that's been around since the Wright brothers flew.
100%.
Dude, when you look at animals like that, it's like, what?
That's crazy.
It doesn't compute.
Oh my gosh, it's just so nuts. So remember, you can follow everything on rebellerally.com/live. You've got live scoring, standings, as well as a
visual.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sometimes
you can
I lose
download
my
YB Races, and you can literally back up the timeline and watch all of the icons for the different teams dance around.
Yeah, which
you
is
can
really
click
cool.
on teams at the bottom and pick your team and see exactly where they are.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
You can turn the checkpoints on and see where those are, and you can just
there's a lot of functionality in those maps. So if you want to follow those, remember that's rebellerally.com/live. Of course, on Rebelle Rally on Facebook and on the YouTubes. You guys, thank you so much for watching. Matthew Johnson and I are going to get all of our poop in a group and head out to Roy. So we will see you tonight.
Thanks for joining us.
6 p.m.